Genesis, chapter 3. In the stillness of the garden, where every leaf breathed peace and every creature moved without fear, a new voice entered the harmony. The serpent was subtle, more perceptive than any living thing among the fields. It approached the woman gently, not with force, but with a question. Did God truly say you need not eat from every tree in the garden? The woman answered calmly. They were free to eat from the trees around them. Only one stood apart, the tree in the midst of the garden. Of it they were told, do not eat, do not touch, or death would follow. The serpent replied with quiet certainty, you will not surely die, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will open, and you will become like gods, knowing good and evil. The words lingered. The woman looked at the tree again. Its fruit was pleasing to the eye, nourishing to the body, and promising wisdom beyond innocence. She reached out. She took the fruit. She ate. And beside her stood the man. To him she gave the same fruit, and he ate. In that moment, something changed. Their eyes opened, not to glory, but to awareness. They saw themselves, uncovered. Vulnerability replaced innocence. They gathered fig leaves together and fashioned coverings, trying to mend with their hands what had shifted within. Then, in the cool of the day, a familiar presence moved through the garden, the sound of the Lord God walking among the trees. For the first time, they hid. Among branches and shadows they withdrew, not from danger, but from the one they once welcomed without fear. The voice called out, "Where are you?" The man answered from concealment. He had heard the voice and was afraid. He was naked, and so he hid. The question followed gently, but unmistakably. Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree I commanded you not to eat? The man spoke, shifting the weight away from himself. The woman you gave to be with me. She gave me the fruit, and I ate. Then the Lord God turned to the woman. What is this you have done? The serpent deceived me, she said quietly, and I ate. Silence settled over the garden, not empty, but heavy with consequence. To the serpent, the decree came first. It would move upon its belly, bound to the dust all its days, and between it and humanity would remain lasting enmity, between its offspring and hers. A wound to the heel, and one day, a crushing to the head. To the woman came a different sorrow. Life would now come through pain. Desire and struggle would entwine within human relationship, no longer effortless harmony. To the man, the ground itself changed. The earth that once yielded freely would resist. Labor would replace ease. Thorns and thistles would rise from the soil. Bread would come only through sweat and persistence. For from dust he was taken, and to dust he would return. The man then named his wife Eve, mother of all living. And the Lord God, in an act both solemn and merciful, made garments of skins and clothed them. Their coverings were no longer leaves of their own making, but something given. Then came the final decision. Humanity had taken knowledge into itself, knowing good and evil. If they now reached also for the tree of life, they would live forever in this altered state. So the garden could no longer be their dwelling. They were sent out, from abundance into labor, from innocence into history. At the eastern edge of Eden, guardians were placed, cherubim and a turning flame of sword-like fire, marking the boundary between what had been and what would now unfold. And the way to the tree of life was closed.